Welcome to another episode of Touring the AFC South, episode 313, the game, the season, the number one pick. I am your host, Mike Patton, and on this episode, I have a very special guest that is here to talk about what we're going to talk about in the Get Off Your Chest segment, and more. He is former Tennessee Titan, Mr. Ben Troupe. What's going on, man?
Mike, listen, first and foremost, I apologize I don't even know if I was on with you in 2024. That is unacceptable. That will not happen again. But
no, you're wrong.
Oh, I was. Okay. But let me say, I need to be on so much so I can tell you what episode, because you sold me 330. I said, dude, I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the 200s or the 100s, but Mike been putting in that work. I've been seeing you interviewing the players after the games. But I will say, me coming on with you more regular, even if it's times like this, because I think it's important for me to make sure that my presence is always here, which let you know, hey, listen, to be a part of your guest list, which is, yes, sir. I done seen them guests. I said, Mike can have Eric Dickinson on here one week, Warren Moon. So if I'm sandwiched in between those dudes, hey man, what can I say, man? I must be doing some things right.
Well, man, I greatly appreciate the kind words, but of course, we have to get into something that it wasn't so kind, is the Get Off Your Chest segment. In this episode, I honestly started to record yesterday, but something told me not to record until the day. And sure enough, news dropped today. Ran Carthon relieved of his duties as general manager for the Tennessee Titans. Now, I did a little bit of research and reading on this. And, Chad Brinker is the guy that's going to be making the decisions now, hiring the GM, and basically going to have the final say-so on the roster. But what I'd read on that, and I actually credit in Rappaport, because he talked about it on NFL, the NFL Network, things like that, that at one point during the season or during this time, they decided that Chad Brinker was going to be the guy. And in that, they took away some of Rand's power, even though they promoted him to a new role. And since basically, it kind of set him up to be this. And when the number one pick happened, of course, they were like, okay, we want Chad Brinker to make this pick. And that's how it all happened. And the thing that's crazy even more about it, I'll give you even more detail about it. Chad Brinker was put in that position when Rand got the promotion. So it wasn't like, Rand just, this guy was just already there. No. It's almost like these things happen simultaneously. And then all of a sudden they just picked one and said, oh, yeah, we're just going to cast the other one off. That's what it kind of just is, I kind of gather in this situation. Do I think Rand deserved this? No. He still has 4 years left on the contract. Do I think he did everything horribly? No. Because if you look at some of the drafts he had, the people that are still here on this team, building blocks of this team, could he have done better in free agency or anything like that? He took his chances and his shots and made some things happen. He had a 1,000-yard receiver that he brought in. He brought in a running back that actually was stabilized the running back room after leaving. He had questions about it, but now you don't have questions there. You brought in a defensive coordinator that made this defense better. I mean, you did a lot of different things. Sure enough, Snead and Chido Awuzie did not play as much as you would think you would want them to, and things like that. But I'm still kind of frustrated, I would say, with the firing of Ran Carthon. Now, Ben, I know you're closer to Ran Carthon than I am, so I know you've got some thoughts, and you played for the Titans as well, so I know you've got some thoughts. So I'm gonna turn the floor over to you.
Well, the first thing that jumps out is, obviously, I'm the main person telling people to stay off of X or Blue Sky or whatever. I said, listen, don't breathe a little bit before you get the rain. But then when you told me, somebody said, yeah, man, I saw that he got fired. I knew it was foul play from the jump. Like I said, wait a minute, man, something ain't right. Then I started hearing about, Mr. Rinker, and I said, wait a minute, the president of football operations, he get to pick the GM, but he get to make the final say. Because I was like, I'll take it back farther than that. I'm at the Black Sports Bid Symposium. Rand is there. He's presenting. And I'm just happy for him, right? I'm just happy for him. And I can't remember the agent. What's the kid from Buffalo? Real charismatic kid from Florida State.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember his name right now.
So it was his agent. And it's something that he told Ran. Like, you know, him and Ran know each other, even though one's an agent, one's a GM. The agent was kind of telling Ran, man, don't he said it in a way like, dude, don't get so caught up in walking them company lines because it ain't what you think. He like, I became an agent, so I just have to negotiate with these teams. I don't want to be employed by them because you don't even know why they letting you go. You don't even really know. How do you get a promotion in year 2? You finally got some money to spend in year 2, you know, but Ran came in and Ran wasn't really looking, you know, if I'm the first black GM in Titans history, listen, when he walked up in Baptist Sports, I don't even know if it's called Baptist Sports Park no more.
St. Thomas. No, at this point.
When I was there, it was Baptist Sports Park. I said, wait a minute, they got an upstairs. Like, as soon as you walk in the front, they didn't have all that. When I was there, that was a wall. They didn't have they had an upstairs, but that not how it is now. I just think that for me, what bothers me the most about this is what Rinker said. I want to say it was Jim Wyatt. He was reporting on it. He said, our goal, you know, moving forward is going to be to draft, develop, and retain. What? That's what everybody does. Draft, develop, and retain. And then he says, what really bothered me, the second part, he says, well, we got to practice. We got to practice patience, not panic. Is that happening now? Like, is that a 2025 thing moving forward? Because that was a 2024, 2023. I think for me, Mike, what bothers me with this whole thing is I got caught up in the hype of everything. Man, when Ran got hired, I was still happy that he got hired. I'm not taking that away. But this organization, when you talk about the Titans, it's ebbs and flows of it. It's not sustainable. It'll have some. I thought that Vrabel was a good coach, but I said when the wheels started falling off, I said they're gonna get rid of Vrabel because I believe that Vrabel don't look like a yes guy. Then they said, okay, can Vrabel and Ran coexist? Then you bring in Coach Callahan. Then you bring in these free agents. Then you spend the money. But no matter what, when he drafted Will Levis, I said, dude, the success or failure of Ran gonna be on Will because you got Anthony Richardson, and you had Bryce Young, and you had C.J. Stroud. It didn't help that C.J. Stroud had the year that he had his rookie year, but they still won the division this year. But with all that being said, the Titans are doing things that no one does. No one over football operations is making decisions for no other team but the Titans. It makes me question, what's Bud Adams' daughter? I wonder what she has to deal with behind the scenes. I'm not saying she don't get to make no decision. I'm not questioning her decision making. But how can you actually say I know what a GM can do in 2 years? Yes, you got rid of A.J. Brown. You drafted him. You didn't want to retain him because he wanted too much money. Oh, Derrick Henry, he almost rushed for 2,000. Yes, he's on a different team, but I think what hurt Ran was Will Levis and the season. Season didn't go well. I mean, you go for Will Levis, Mace Rudolph. I mean, it was hard to watch, but it's not like guys that they brought in weren't like contributing. It's just that the wins and the losses, this will really hurt. You get rid of Malik Willis, he goes over to Green Bay, he comes to the Titans, and what does he do? He beats
Spurs the Titans.
It's those type of slaps in the face type things. But I still think if he got promoted and Mr. Brinker was a simultaneous thing, I don't like it because Mike, and you know this from covering the team, interviewing players. It's like you get indicators now. Because you said this time last year, hey man, why aren't y'all where Mike Vrabel at? You saw it because that's then when you talk about that, hey man, where's Ran? Okay. You can see it. It's the parts that we don't see. If I got promoted behind the scenes, the GM's supposed to run the teams, except if you the GM for the Titans, which means whatever GM they bring in, he can see what happened to Ran. He gonna be like, so do I mean, am I just a face? Am I just a fill-in? Am I just a slot filler? Or do I get to – it's just so confusing for me because you gave him a contract extension in year 2, added another job title, but he don't really get to make decisions, which means how many decisions did he actually make behind the scenes? We'll never know. Ran's professional. He's not going to say anything. Was Ran making the decision or was Ran, in a sense, the Wizard of Oz? He's the man behind the curtain, but he ain't pushing the buttons. it looks like it's smoke and mirrors. I just don't like it when, because it makes the perception looks like Rand don't know what he's doing, and that's not true at all. Rand has come up through the ranks, scout, head scout over personnel now with San Francisco, with the Rams, to come to a Titans team that, yeah, man, we like what you're doing. I like the whole, he come up in the building, everybody high five, he hugging people. That stuff, I don't want to call it fake. I'm just saying it wasn't real, because if after year 2 you already ready to move on, because maybe, as much as I talked about Mike Vrabel not being a yes person, Rand is not a yes person. So maybe they were telling him to go out there. Like, because, and like I said, once again, Rand wants to continue having a career in the NFL. So he ain't gonna say anything. So now everything that's said is gonna be said on his behalf. He got to sit there and go, "Hey man, I just appreciate the Titans organization." That's the part that I don't like about the whole thing, because Mike, unless our last name was Carthon and he's our brother or cousin and he can talk to us, because we ain't gonna say nothing. The only person to know is his wife, and he knows. And heaven ain't gonna do no interviews. It's just too confusing for me, because the business of football, I'm gonna keep saying this, it is awful. Because as much as you think you understand it, this starts happening. Because I'm gonna ask you, Mike, though, you listen, you on the ground in Nashville. When it came down with you, was it when he didn't do the press conference, or what you gonna do? What, like when it finally hit you, say, "Oh, they about to do it," and here I am trying to get these final interviews, these exit interviews that they make all the players. It used to be you grab a couple of players walking. Now they about to make them all do it, and you see how jolly these players have to be, even if they. I saw you doing some with some of them, like Westbrook and those boys, the different ones. But when it hit you, did you say, "Dude, is the Tigers organization just unstable, or are they really focused on winning, or do they want the front office to just look and feel a certain way?"
Yeah, I'll say this: when it hit me that Rand was not going to be there, or the thought that Rand wasn't going to be there, is when Callahan had the press conference and there wasn't an announcing of Ran Carthon having a press conference. Because remember last year, Mike Vrabel didn't have a press conference when he was fired. He didn't have a press conference at all. Rand was sent out there by ownership, took all the questions, left. This year, Brian Callahan sent out there, took all the questions, left, no Ran Carthon in sight. So it seemed like to me at that point that it is what it is, and that basically is what happened. And to me, also another thing that struck me, and you talked about Brinker and his comments. Did you hear his comments about how he described what he wants the next GM to be?
No.
Okay, I'm going to break those down for you.
Okay.
He said he wants someone that eats, sleeps, and breathes football, that is a scout, and it comes from the scouting ranks. Now, if you close your eyes and ask who that is, who does that actually describe to you?
That's Rand.
Exactly.
You know what I don't understand, even with that. There's a reason why, I sit behind these mics and these screens and I do, podcasts and radio and media. Because if I am in that room and he says that, if he's looking at my face, I'm going to be like, is it? I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'm like, dude, he's got to be joking. Let me get this straight. Your way forward is draft, develop, retain. Got it. I want a guy that came through the scouting range. You know how who has more familiarity with the scouts or what they go through or grow through than Rand? And
nobody.
Who you think? And that, so now the next GM comes in. Number one, you don't know what type of decisions he gets to make. Number two, I think you used the best word, ownership. What does that even look like when you are actually on the Titans staff? And is it a group decision of how we make decisions, or is it acting GM, Mr. Rinker? How do you? And people say, why is that important? When I'm on the Titans in 2006, it said that Bud Adams wanted Vince Young. This was the rumor, and Jeff Fisher wanted Matt Leinart.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Bud Adams from Houston. So was that Vince Young, Matt Leinart went to USC, just like Jeff Fisher. Now I think we made the right choice with getting Vince Young. I'm not saying you, but could you imagine when you start thinking about good teams and it's just regular teams? Good teams, they reload every year. Bad teams, they in a rebuild all the time. You getting 2 coaches in 2 years. Now you about to get another GM within 2 years. But you don't even know if the GM is even a GM. Like if the GM comes in, and I've never been, guarantee he's gonna be a first-time GM, not gonna have any experience. Because if he does, he can tell Rinker this is how it is as a GM. If I'm a brand new GM, they shaking their hands saying, "Listen, look, giving them looks like, look, just do what we ask you to do, and you'll be fine." And in his mind, he like, "Well, isn't that what Rand did?" What? Never mind, because I don't get it. This is why the front office they used to tell me is it ain't what people think it is, because I used to think that, you got these GMs that they just let them run it. They're the GM. Once again, there's another dysfunctional team down there in Jacksonville. The stuff that's going on with them, I thought that it was just them. It's like the Titans go, no, let's one up them. What? Let's one up Jacksonville. What do you mean? Because could you imagine? So if Rand is at Jacksonville and he gets Urban Meyer and the athlete, the strength coach from Iowa, and brings back Tom Coughlin and gets rid of all the good players, Rand gonna land on his feet. I know he got 4 years left on his current contract, so they still owe him that. But Mike, may God bless you, sir. Because I'm telling you, they say the more you learn about this, it's like golf. When you don't know where the ball's supposed to go, man, you just enjoying it. You just whacking at that thing. But then when you learn, wait a minute, it's not supposed to do that. It's like the game. It's like that's kind of how football is. It's like when Rand has come up through the ranks. You know how hard it is to even become a head coach candidate, let alone a GM? And y'all gonna do me like this? And I mean this respectfully. I mean this with all the respect in the world. What Rand really want to say is like, y'all the Titans, right? Y'all gonna do me like this? I get it if it's anyway. Because I know still people still. I know Tina Tuttle and all them still work up there, and it's just disappointing because I thought that the Titans was really trying to turn the corner as far as like what they were trying to do. Listen, the head coach sets the vision, the locker room sets the culture, the GM builds the team. That's what I thought football was. Now the Titans gonna be saying, now you're gonna have people saying, forget the GM, man. I want to be president of football operations. Why? They get to make the decisions. No, they don't. Yeah, they do. In Tennessee, they do. In Tennessee, president of football operations get to make the decision. Why? He picked me. He picked the team. So what does that mean for Coach Callahan then? Because I thought that Rand picked Callahan. So now with the new GM, does the new GM answer the coach, Mr. Rinker, and Callahan got to answer them? Listen, whoever Chad Rinker is, I know he used to be with Green Bay. People say, I was with Green Bay for 13 years, man. All these different things. Listen, if he say something like, man, I was there when they had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl 15 years ago, man. He won it. That's a long time. Most of the players in the league was in what? Middle school? Elementary school? Anyway, it's just the Titans never cease to amaze me. And this is going to be one of those things that it's going to be a head scratcher, Mike, because no matter what, when you're trying to make it make sense, it just don't. Like everything they say, it's like, dude, every time y'all say something, I'm going to be like, what? Why? Because I thought, because this time last year, we got the right GM. He's the guy. He's going to be doing it. A guy that understands the scouts. Most GMs can't talk to the scouts, never did scouting. Can't talk about personnel, said they never did personnel. Rand did it all. He did it all. And now, somebody right now, whoever his agent is, I'm pretty sure his number ringing out the hook. And, phone ringing out the hook, he's going to find another spot. But it's like, listen, Rand, come on over here with Mike, just talk about it. Whenever you get a chance, you ain't going to be in the AFC. You'll probably be in the NFC. Go to the NFC. They don't like you in the AFC. Go to the NFC, but still come on here, talk to Mike about, because it just always, to me, is going to be one of those things, Mike. We look back 2 years ago. I don't know what the field was in Nashville when Ran was there, man. I'm pretty sure certain people in Nashville, man, I like this. I like what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go from Vrabel, which was a sour taste, okay, but you give him Ran Carthon. Okay, I'll take that. What about now? The season didn't go well. Will Levis or Mason Rudolph, either both or one of them at least going to be back next year, right? What are you going to do in the draft? That number one. I mean,
we're going to talk about that.
That number one pick going to be something, but it's going to be something.
We're going to talk about that. But hey, let me take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the number one pick. We're also going to talk about the season finale and how that went as well on Tour in the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off on these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get this EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, we are back on Touring the AFC South, episode 313, the game, the season, the number one pick. Now, the game, we definitely talked about the game, which, the game extends further than the field, as you can tell on this episode. But, of course, we do have to talk about the number one pick. Now, the Titans obtained that number one pick thanks to Mr. Joe Milton. He went 22 of 28, 241 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 rushing, and beating the Buffalo Bills 23-16 and giving the Titans with the loss the number one overall pick. Now, I just want to also mention that Joe Milton is getting some trade offers as well. That is crazy to me that, for this one game, he's getting trade offers, but he was playing against kind of more backups in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Just don't let this be a Matt Flynn situation, like how Matt Flynn got paid off of one game, Green Bay, then he went to Seattle, and then Russell Wilson took his job. Yeah, just don't let that be a situation like that. But the Titans have the number one pick, and they have a few things they can do. There's one guy in Miami, Mr. Cam Ward. Now, I like Cam Ward because Cam Ward had 0 stars coming out of high school. He goes JUCO, goes Washington State. He keeps getting better and better and better. And then he goes to Miami, and he explodes. And he just becomes the guy. So he's a potential guy there. There's also Shadeur Sanders. Now, of course, he goes to Jackson State to start. Him and as a part of his dad's success there, then goes to Colorado and takes it up even another level. And he is another guy to talk about. And then there's the option of potentially trading the pick. Now, I will say this. With the way the quarterback position is thought about now by a lot of Titans fans, if they trade this pick, it could be pandemonium and not in a good way down here. So what I'm first going to talk about is, actually, we did get a question, in the Touring the AFC South inbox. It is from Jason Fearman. What's going on, Jason? Said the Titans projected to draft Cam Ward, and maybe you'll have your QB. What do you think? Now, we're going to start off talking with Cam Ward. What are your thoughts on Cam Ward? Did you get a chance to watch him play? To be honest, he's a smooth operator back there.
I did. Well, unfortunately, I got a chance to watch the first game of the year against my Gators, man. He is Cam Ward has 156 touchdown passes. It would take I don't know 8-9 quarterbacks to do that. Like 156, and he's done it. He's done it at 3 levels. He's done it at JUCO. He's done it at Washington State. He's done it at Miami. Took Miami to 10-2. I still wish he would have got the opportunity to play in the ACC championship game, potentially to make a college football playoff appearance. Cam Ward has done it all in college. Yes, he transferred his senior year, but he's everything. Worked out with Shadeur Sanders in the offseason. I mean, if his defense came to play, they would probably still be. He was a tough out. The kid is built, for the main stage. I think he's built for 4 quarters. I don't think the situation gonna get too big. And you know how it is, Mike. If you're a good quarterback, the one thing you don't have to worry about coming to the Titans team, yes, you got a different level of media because of social media. But as far as like the media beating you up, you don't got to worry about that. Now you're gonna be the biggest thing in town. And I agree with you. The Titans need some good publicity right now. They trade that. It don't matter what they get and who they get. You trade the number 1 pick. When you had, because we always look at it like this. You had a shot. You get first dibs on anybody in there. Cam Ward, Shadeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, whoever you're thinking about. I like Cam Ward a little bit better than Shadeur Sanders for this reason. Shadeur Sanders was throwing the football to the Heisman Trophy winner, right? I like Cam Ward because, number one, he said, look, I went to Miami. I know I got to deal with Clemson. I know I got to deal with UNC. I know I got to deal with the pressure of getting the U back to the U. Now, I don't know if anybody can do that. But I think Cam Ward is built to play with a team like the Titans in the AFC South because, number one, no one's really afraid of Houston, even though they in the playoffs. You don't really know what's going on in Indy right now with Flacco and Richardson. And the Jacksonville Jaguars team and organization ain't much different than what's going on with the Titans right now. They really don't know what's going on. I think Cam Ward look good in that two-tone blue. I think the young man relishes in these opportunities, and I think it'll be the greatest validation for his career with everything he's done to be the number 1 overall pick. Hey, with Caleb Williams and company gonna have we get the evolution of the black quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's everybody. Listen, either I'm looking for one or I'm looking for one that play like one. That's the new NFL for us. I think it would be great. I mean, Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley, Cheese, that running game, and the AFC South. Like, forget everybody else they got to play. The Cam Ward coming here. Once again, we don't know who's going to draft him. We don't know who's going to get the we don't know who that's going to be. Probably going to be Mr. Brink. Right. I don't know. But I'm like you, Mike. I hope, I like Cam Ward. And he's earned it. I don't like him because he can play. I've seen him play. He's nice. And he's not injury prone. He's not small. About 210, 215. I think he'll be a real, real good fit. And I think it's a worthy number 1 pick. Because people say this, I don't know how deep this draft is at all positions, but I know they got 2 quarterbacks that are headline. You better get you one. Listen, if you don't get Cam and you get Shadeur, ain't nobody gonna be mad. Outside of the fact that you might have to hire Shadeur's brother, Deion Sanders Jr. to follow him around. You might have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that,
hey, you got media skills, man. You got skills.
Listen, Deion Sanders' brilliance of making his son what he's done with his media company, it's brilliant, man. Because if you don't think other colleges want to do that, the problem is they don't got charisma like Deion. They don't got, likability like Deion. But I don't think because the Titans got number 1 pick, I don't think you can go wrong with Cam or Shadeur. I would lean more Cam than Shadeur, only because I love Shadeur Sanders as well. But no matter what, Shadeur Sanders gonna come with a circus now. It not his fault, but he comes with a crowd. I like Cam Ward. I think the Titans sit with that pick. I think they make. Hopefully they make the common sense decision and get Cam Ward. I think it'll be a great pick.
Okay, all right. So Shadeur, definitely. I was going to ask you about Shadeur, but you addressed that one. So, I'm gonna throw another scenario at you. And actually, we got another question in the Touring the AFC South inbox. Trading the number 1 pick. Now, there's a quarterback that didn't play for the Minnesota Vikings this year. His name is J.J. McCarthy. So would that be potentially a quarterback you would think to trade to bring here and include the number one pick? Is he really worth the number one pick in your opinion?
Now, in the past, I would be like, absolutely not. But I'm always thinking about, when it comes to these picks and the number one pick, I'm thinking about the present and the future. Here's the thing, though. I don't know what you got in him because he hasn't played yet, right? Sam Darnold had just, my God. So it's always dangerous, Mike, if you go get a guy who got drafted high based off what he did in college, but he ain't played in the league yet. We don't know. And if I'm gonna play around with that number one pick, I'm gonna get the guy that just started. No, JJ McCarthy, let him put on that Minnesota purple. Now Sam Darnold, okay, now we talking. Now we talking about something. Because
question. Do you believe what you're seeing from Sam Darnold? Now, I've been listening to Bomani Jones. Me and Bomani Jones on the same page, and we both have been waiting to see same Darnold and not Sam Darnold. Same Darnold means Sam Darnold we've seen throughout his career. So we saw it on Sunday. So are you really confident that if a team, I'm not confident.
I'm more confident for trading for him than the JJ McCarthy. Yeah, because JJ still had a rookie season. But no, because no matter what, you got Jordan Addison, you got that bum Justin Jefferson, you got Hawkins, you got Aaron Jones. You loaded. I mean, Sam Darnold did what you're supposed to do when you got those type of weapons. Sam Darnold said, "Listen, man, I'm not gonna mess this up. I'm not seeing ghosts. I'm good." In a very, very competitive NFC, North that they obviously made in the playoffs. No, I'm confident if you're talking about him versus JJ McCartney, but I'm like you, Mike. I've seen too much of Sam Darnold, and I always say this: a player's success is directly connected to who he plays for and who he plays with. So the team and the players. Because when Sam was in New York, I don't know what it is about quarterbacks in New York these days. I don't care if it's the Jets, I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones, whomever, Dan DeVito or whatever his name. The Titans are a different type of place to play because you got to get used to the lingo. You got to get used to the city. You got to get used to the culture. You got to get used to this AFC South. I just think that they listen, don't mess around with trading. Because here's the thing about the trading thing. If you trade because this is going to happen, you trade and you watch Cam Ward go somewhere, you watch Shadeur, and they start lighting it up. Then it's going to be, it's going to be the Mitchell Trubisky versus the Patrick Mahomes count. Every time Mitchell Trubisky, he got drafted over Patrick, it's like you're never going to live that down. RG3 knew as long as he was in the league with Andrew Luck, they're going to compare him to the two. So the Titans picking number one. You got at least two surefire, bona fide starters in Shadeur and Cam. Pick one and live with it. Because no matter what, whoever you pick gonna end up starting for week one. They're gonna probably be your starter. Yeah, Mike, I think you leave that number because you got so many holes, and I think your biggest one is at quarterback. Your biggest hole is at quarterback, just from a consistency standpoint. So yeah, I think you get Cam or Shadeur, and you live with it. So now I know the New York Football Giants. They're gonna be calling 615 area code because they want Shadeur from what I've heard. But no, man, Cam Ward has proven himself worthy all year long. He did it at a big time school, 2 big time schools. So I think you go with Cam Ward, and like I said, whoever get to announce it or send it in. Hopefully they'll videotape it. We'll see. It's going. The Titans are the Tennessee Titans are on the clock right now. I think they go with Cam and Shadeur. But once again, every time I think the Titans gonna make the common sense decision, we have days like today. So
Now I will say this: if this pick doesn't work out and this draft doesn't work out, I'm wondering in 2026 if we're sitting here and we're talking about Brinker being fired. I wonder if we are. I just wonder.
I'm just saying,
they've kind of showed us year by year that they like making changes. So I'm just saying potentially that could happen too.
Listen, Vanderbilt head coaches are surviving longer than Tennessee Titan GMs these days, and it's crazy. It's wild in Nashville. It's a wild place to be in Nashville these days.
And you know that the quarterback gonna be back for like another year,
Yeah,
right?
that boy
Yeah,
gonna go to college as long as he can get eligible. He gonna be here 2029 if they let him. If they let him.
man, he gonna be getting his doctorate of doctorates. There,
He gonna be applying for the football operation position that the Titans for us. I just want to be the operation dude. I don't want to be no coach or anything. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, we're gonna take another break. I do want to talk about the last game, the season finale. Boy, they lost that one to the Houston Texans wearing the lovely blue uniforms. But there were some lowlights, but there were also some highlights as well. I'm going to talk about those and more after the commercial break on Touring the AFC South. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business. All right, and we're back on Touring the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton. Like I mentioned before the commercial break, we're going to talk a little bit about the game. Tennessee Titans losing the last game of the season, 23-14 to the Houston Texans, wearing the lovely blue uniforms, which pretty much every time they play Houston here in Nashville, they will probably be wearing those uniforms because I believe the owner of the Tennessee Titans actually likes to kind of rub that in just a little bit. But, of course, they're unfortunately are 0-2 in those uniforms facing the Houston Texans. But, there were some bad things that happened in the game. Of course, one of those, Levis started the game, and then Mason Rudolph came in, then Levis came back, and it was kind of like going back and forth. Now, Callahan did tell us that both quarterbacks would play. It just didn't really seem like either one had a rhythm. Of course, they scored 14 points, but that's not enough to win in the NFL consistently, and as shown in this game. Of course, that happened. Then you have Dameon Pierce, 19 carries, 176 yards, including a 19-yard run, where I think the only thing that touched him was the wind as he was running down the field. Because literally, I'm looking at it, and he parts the Red Sea, and boom, there he goes. And he's not even a super fast guy.
He's not. You
saw Matt Jackson trying to catch him, and I'm like, man, he's not going to catch him. I thought he really was going to catch him. Well, that happened too. And then, of course, the last thing I want to mention is Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard had two incentives going into this game: 83 rushing yards to reach 1,100 and get $250,000 additional dollars, and he needed two rushing touchdowns for $200,000. He reached 0 of those, 22 carries, 62 yards, fell 21 yards short, and 2 TDs short of $450,000. Now, when he was talked to in the locker room, I believe on exit day, he said he did not know whether the Titans were going to give him that money or not, but since he was so close to it, at least the $250K. So take with that what you will. Hey, it is what it is. What do you think about those three things, man? It's a lot. There's a lot that didn't go well in this game.
Well, the starting out is them Houston all the Titan Blues that Houston need to get out of this. Dude, y'all are not the originals. Like, why is that so hard? The Titans were the original Houston Oilers, and they came to. You think, oh well, since we're here now. And here's the thing. What have we said this? Two things. Have you been to a Super Bowl? Nope. Titans have. Have you got an MVP of the league? Nope. Titans have. Have you had a 2,000-yard rush? Nope. Titans did it twice. Two players. Houston Texans,
3. They've done it. Well, the Titans always have done it 3.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So when people get to talking about these Houston fans talking about, man, how disrespectful it is. How disrespectful of what? Number one, I don't even know what the Houston Texans color scheme. Is that a blue jersey or a black jersey they be wearing? Y'all just come out with a new jersey all the time, but to be feeling the type way, like how disrespectful it is. No, how naive of y'all to think who are the original Houston? Oh, the Titans. Okay, like, yeah, that would be like the Rams, right? They back in LA. They was in St. Louis. They get to wear the same color scheme. Anyway? The Mason Rudolph and Will Levis situation. The final game is a culmination of the whole season. When you have two quarterbacks, you don't have none. When you got two, you ain't got one. And with Cali, you know how weird it is for the starter to come in, come out, and come like what are we doing, Callahan? Like, what are we doing? And once again, I wonder if they blame Ran for that. You know, who knows? And I think Tony Pollard, I mean, may God bless his heart. I don't know if Tony Pollard understands how incentives work. Now, can they potentially give it to you with the almost getting it? Yeah, they do that kind of stuff in places like Kansas City. They don't do that in Tennessee. We're going to – Tony Pollard is here. Yeah, what's up, Tony? Listen, I didn't get the 2 touchdowns, but I almost got 1,100. They're going to say, did we make the playoffs? No. Oh, I mean, Tony, you know, if they do it, hey, I hope they do. $250K, boy, that's a gigantic almost check. That's a big one. That's a big one. But I think the thing about the Dameon Pierce thing, like you mentioned on the test, I said, you know, let me tell you something about our defense. The defense has moments, but when the defense messes up, it's so bland. You're like, how? You're like, what? Like what's going on? It's like a level of. I be trying my best not to. I be laughing, but Keith Bullock be going off on it. He will go off, and people really be going back with Keith Bullock like he ain't him. Keith Bullock is the greatest defensive player ever played for the Titans. That's taking nothing away from Javon Curse. You know what Al said? Those players like, stop playing with me. And Kyle Vanden Bosch, and he has some Kevin Byard. He has some great players. They're not Keith Bullock. Stop playing. I don't get it sometimes, Mike. When it comes to the Titans, when they play Houston, sometimes they start doing stuff they don't do. I'm like, Dameon Pierce, like running back kicks. I'm like, what is going on? Listen, obviously I love Dameon Pierce, former Florida Gator. Love D. Pierce, but it's like Dameon Pierce auditioned for another team against my Titans. I'm like, dude, like, y'all can't catch him. Dameon Pierce will never ever be known as a burner, ever,
right?
Ever. But it's almost like because he's so slow. You just, hey man, he's still an NFL runner. He used to be the starter till Joe Mixon got to town. Like he used to be a starter at one point but I just think it's a microcosm of the whole season. Had opportunities, didn't take advantage of them. Miscues at the most inopportune times in the game. Not taking advantage of the moment sometimes. And let's face it, man, when we were talking about a jersey, or some of the nicest throwbacks, hey, the Titans got some. I'm jealous because I never got to play in those when I was with the Titans. Would have loved to, by the way, the things that is. Because you get to wear red gloves, baby blue gloves. But anyway, I just think that for my Titans, the two-tone blue boys, the Titans are not getting beat for lack of effort or even like scheme. It's just in between them lines, something ain't transferring from Monday to Saturday to something's not happening. And I think one of the main things is this: if you play offense, as a person that was there in 2006 when we went from Kerry Collins, that you talking about weird. Billy Volek was the starter. This is week 1. Billy Volek is the starter. It is Wednesday. We go out and do walkthrough with Billy Volek. Come back into the locker room, right? They're taking his they got new lockers now. They was like taking Billy Volek's name off his locker. And Kerry Collins was standing there. Listen, Billy Volek comes into the locker room and says, "Is that Kerry Collins?" Listen, they go, "That's Kerry Collins." Billy Volek said, "Wait a minute. We just got Kerry Collins?" Mind you, we don't know either. You think stuff is crazy now.
Oh, wow.
Listen, Billy Volek, just imagine walking in, looking, they go Kerry Collins. I'm like, dang, that's Kerry Collins played for Carolina and played for like New York in the Super Bowl against the Ravens in 2000. They're like, yeah. Somebody comes and tell Billy, hey, Florida Reese needs to see you upstairs. That's the last time we saw Billy. Billy got on a plane and flew to San Diego. Listen, we go out. We just had walk through his office. We go out to practice, and Kerry Collins is calling the plays. And listen, and we play on Sunday. So you would think that would have showed me the business of football, but I'm like, this got to be enough. Think about knowing finally out you getting traded by coming in and seeing they're taking Billy's name off his locker, like with the little razor blade. Man. So listen, I got stories for days. I mean, I'm not throwing nobody under the bus, but I say that to say, when it comes to the Titans, every time the Titans don't fulfill something, it's always head scratches, Mike, because it's not a lack of talent. Calvin really is a bona fide number one receiver. Tony Pollard is a bona fide number one running back, and you don't got to. No one compares to Derrick Henry. Like, don't do that. Nobody. Even I love Saquon Barkley. What Saquon did this year, which Philly, y'all should let him break the record. That's ridiculous. Derrick Henry is 30 years. He's 31 now. It's like, dude. So I don't think you got to compare the past to appreciate the present, but it's just a head scratcher sometimes because you're like, dude, what are we doing? Because at the end of the day, you say this is the biggest question mark to me. You're gonna look back on 2024 and say, dude, yeah, we didn't win the South in 2024. I'm not saying the South was down in 2024. I'm saying it was winnable. It was winnable. 2024 was winnable. It's just too many miscues, man. Too many things that shouldn't happen. Too many things that you thought would happen. Guys were very professional, but yeah, to them Houston fans, stop it. Like, Houston, stop it. Like, for real. Like, come on. Like, let's pump the brakes. And Bud Adams, may he rest in peace. Listen, trolling y'all from the grave, baby. Like, and I love it. I love every minute of it. Because I remember when we played Houston and we beat them, and they say, Houston, they frauds. They're not the real. They're not the real. The Houston Titans rivalry don't get enough fanfare. Don't get enough, exposure because it's serious now. It runs deep. So, but yeah, it was disappointing because we know that Houston already had won the division. You still want to gut punch it. You still want to say, y'all going. We still want to, but it didn't happen that way. I don't know. Maybe it sealed certain people's fate because, it was like, I don't know. But, yeah, love the uniforms. It was just, the announcers like, okay, Will Levis starts again. Oh, here comes in Mason Rudolph. Because they were saying, well, maybe, when a quarterback goes out, they think, well, maybe he tweaked something. When he ran back in, I'm like, what? Like, what are we evaluating in week 18? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it just didn't seem it seemed kind of off a little bit. Then of course, we're gonna move on to the happy times, the happy things that happened in the game. Now, there was a young man named Tay Martin. Now, Tay Martin, he didn't get picked up until this week. He got signed for the practice squad on January 4th. And not one of us in media really thought he was going to have an impact on the game. Now, he wore number 18, and I had a certain person in media that said in his uniform, he kind of looked like Justin Jefferson in an Oilers uniform. Not going to name that person that said that, but he did kind of look like Justin Jefferson in an Oilers uniform. But anyway, of course, he throws, he goes out there, he actually lines up at wide receiver, and the first pass he's ever caught in the NFL ends up being a 49-yard touchdown. That's the first pass he has ever caught in the NFL. Now, was the pass for him or not? No, it wasn't. But I'm gonna let you hear him talk about it real quick. Hold on. Talking with Titans wide receiver Tay Martin. Now, you gotta take us back to that touchdown catch. Your first ever reception in the NFL is a touchdown. Can you kind of take us through how that happened?
Just God being with me, just trying to make a play. When my name's being called, just staying ready. So ball went up and I just went there to play. God was with me and So the whole team rallied around me, and so I was able to make a play. So.
Was that for you, or was that for Bryce?
I think it may be for Bryce, but I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? No, I'm just playing. I think it was for Bryce, but like I said, I just seen the ball up and I went make a play in my vicinity, so I was able to get on it, and me and Bryce cracked a smile about it at the end of the play, and he was like, "I think you ran the wrong route, but hell yeah."
Yeah, he definitely did run the wrong route, but hey, he went and made the play. Because honestly, if he doesn't run that route, the wrong route, that is an interception for Will Levis because the safety was right there to catch the ball. And this is a lesson for any kids playing youth football or college football. If you're a defensive back, go get the football. Don't wait on the football because that happened. Yeah.
Man, Tay knows this. It's much easier to get forgiveness than permission now. And if I'm gonna make a mistake, I know this. I know he went out and drafted out of Oklahoma State. Out there with San Francisco, we get him. You get picked up a day before the game. They bring you up a day before the game. Hey Tay, get your stuff. You know what I'm saying? You playing? All right. You playing tomorrow? All right. Hey man, what you average a catch? 49 yards. You average 40. Yeah, I average 49. I got one for 49 in the touch. A coach can or if I haven't played all year, the likelihood of me blowing, a play, I could blow a play, but I made up for it. Because, as we mentioned, Mike, if it would have gone the other way, it's like he saved Will Levis. I mean, that's nice to understand. I'm happy for him, and I like how he kept it a buck at the end. Like, yeah, he kind of told me, you ran the wrong route or whatever, but we laughed at it. I think that's the thing about the Titans, guys like Tay, those type of players to where staying the course week in and week out, just doing what you coach do, doing what you paid to do. And week 18, they call you up. You're just happy for them. You hope that those type of players stay around and, they keep building. Because, look, man, as a player that played for the Titans, man, that went 4-12 my rookie year, 5-11 my second year. I think we went like 8-8 Vince Young rookie year, and we was able to go 10-6 and make the playoffs. It's a slow grind, man, but you just got to stay the course. And I think the one thing I know about this Titans team, man, even though I still think Vrabel's imprint is there. Man, just grind, man. Just keep grinding and don't care about who get the credit. I was happy for Taylor. Like, when it happened the game, I'm like, no. I'm going, no. Okay. You go from don't throw that to, because that thing was up. I said, that's a long way. He came down with it. That's the thing about the Titans, man. Even in the games they lost. Now, it was some ugly losses. Some of these losses were like, man. But most of them, man, they were competitive. The Titans lose a game, you like, dude, how we lose that one? Like, what's going on? Yeah. But I just think that, the season in review as a whole, it's going to be, you didn't go the way you wanted to. But I love the professionalism of these exit interviews. Tay kind of looked like, I know he's a lot smaller. Tay kind of looked like Bud Dupree. That's kind of who he looked like. He kind of looked like Bud Dupree a little bit, man. But no, I think this Titans team, I do think they play for each other. I don't think they got no quit in them. They don't cheat the game. They do their best to try to play the game the right way. It's just when the expectations ain't met, as my coach would say, which I agree, it's easy to place the blame, spread the blame around. Don't put it on one person, which is, once again, I go back to the whole Ran thing. Don't put it on one person, man. We are going to that carousel. Listen, college don't even do that. What we did in week 18, they won't even do that in college. You won't have two quarterbacks going back and forth the last game of the season in college, and we doing it. So, hey, get Cam Ward or Shadeur Sanders. And hey man, we got to put 2024 behind us. Even though the season starts in 2024 and ends in 2025, that's what 17 games. Good Lord.
Hey, right.
But I'm always gonna be repping them boys for two-tone blue. I'm always gonna be overly critical of them that I should be. But once I breathe a little bit, I understand that bringing in all these new players, you got to click. And then, like you mentioned, you had a bunch of big name players that didn't play as much. So you can't get the chemistry right. Your D coordinator didn't that? I think the former D coordinator didn't he go up there to the Giants? He went up to the
Yes,
Giants.
he did. He was the defensive coordinator for the Giants, and they didn't do so
and that
well.
kind of stuff. So you think about those players that had built a nice rapport with him. Money talks, people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you love being up there. I'm just saying. I know they got came out Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. You might want to come back down here. I'm just saying we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Well, I will say this: we do have more when it comes to Mr. Calvin Ridley, though, too. Of course, it's been an up and down season for him. He had some games where he didn't even have any receptions, but he came into the game. Let's see, 59 yards short of 1,000 yards, and on the 39-yard pass where he acrobatically caught it, got 1 foot down, elbow down, 2 hands, so with 2 feet, basically, is what it equates to. He basically passed 1,000 yards for the season, becoming the 9th player in NFL history to have 1,000 yards for 3 different NFL franchises. So he did not even know that after the game. He didn't know that.
I like that.
He knew he was he got 1,000 yards. Of course, you see the video of him and Will Levis celebrating and things like that he did pass that. So, it's some joy in that moment. But it's something for him. And then one thing I can say about Calvin Ridley, he is the eternal optimist when it comes to a lot of different things. And I can truly appreciate his positive attitude at all times. Now, of course, he had his moment where he was frustrated, after one game talking to the media and people want to talk about that. But what I'm going to talk about is the entire season, he was positive. He loves being here in Nashville. He talked about that one day after practice. And I can just appreciate his positive attitude in terms of how he approaches the game and just the thankfulness he has for, just being able to play the game despite missing pretty much 2 full years. To do what he's doing now is truly amazing.
He is Calvin Ridley. Obviously, you just played for my Falcons. Then, obviously he had that, we make mistakes. He's out of the league a couple of years, come back to Jacksonville, does what he does. Then when we pick him up in the offseason, I said, okay, Ran. Like when I saw it, I said, Chiggs, Burt, you talk about, D-Hop when we had him. You talk about, I said, man, we could be nice, man. You talk about T. Pollard. But every time I see Calvin really do an interview, he's always smiling. And sometimes Calvin really understands, hopefully now, they bring you on a team for more than what you do physically. They bring you on a team for more than what you mean to the offense. Sometimes, I can only imagine what Treylon Burks feels like, because I remember when he was saying, I remember when D-Hop said, man, I'm going to stay on him and different things. Calvin Ridley, Calvin Ridley running the routes hard, man. He come off the ball so hard, and he's a route runner. I mean, the guy went to Alabama. He knows how to play football. But I'm happy for you, Mike, to get that's the part about the media that I miss. You get to know the person who plays, because at a certain point they're just talking to you, and that's what I used to enjoy about the Tennessee Titans media, Nashville media was, they're gonna talk about what you do athletically, or what you're doing, what you're not doing. But they still want to build a rapport with you. You're not doing it maliciously. And sometimes, you come across a good dude like Calvin Ridley, who just is he's a good dude. And remaining optimistic is one of the hardest things to do as a professional athlete, because you're so results driven. Like everything is, what did you do today? What did you do in practice today? Oh my God, dude, you ain't have a man. That's when you learn what type of pro you are. You ain't have a catch. Are you Calvin Ridley? Yeah. They think, how did that? And that's when you have to breathe a little bit. That's when you say, hold on, Mike. Like, give me a couple of minutes. Because I don't want to let this thing, go all the way down. Because I don't want the game to let me become somebody different. Because sometimes, the game will dictate how you respond verbally. Mm-hmm. But it seems like Calvin Ridley is the type of guy you want to build moving forward, because he got – listen, most people ain't going to have the experience Calvin Ridley has had in the NFL. First-round pick, get kicked out of the league 2 years, who going to pick me up, go to Jacksonville, then he still signed a huge deal to come to That boy went from no taxes in Florida to no taxes in Tennessee. Hey, man, I know Mrs. Ridley is loving that these days. No taxes on them checks. But I'm happy that you get to know certain players because those will be the type of players you'll say, well, who do you look to be those veteran guys, in the locker room? And, hey, man, I'm just happy that he got the 1,000 yards because whenever you get the big name free agent, whether it's a DN or corner, if they ain't making Pro Bowls, they got to be at least putting up big time numbers. And 1,000 yards in the NFL is still huge now. 1,000 yards at receiver, especially with the Titans, to where, I played with Derek Mason, who just couldn't cover him, like Drew Bennett. But the Titans ain't. They don't got like nothing to get love really, but they ain't got no Jamar Chase out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Calvin really proves that. I mean, we still growing. Yeah, I got my 1,000 yards in the last game, but see, and that's the NFL I'm used to. I'm used to saying, hey man, you had like 966 yards with one game left. So now you're thinking, well, if we into the playoffs, are they gonna throw it to me? Because that's what they don't talk about. Sometimes. Because people think that Tony Pollard thing, that's by design. Hey, they know how much money he get if he get it. So had it been on the goal line, hey Tony, let me put the young guy in. I'm the young guy. I'm not. Oh no, I gotta get it. I'm happy that Calvin really did get it. It's like a validator for the season itself. Like, hey man, I know I had some down games, some underwhelming moments. I still got because. We'll forget about those once you see the final number. Some people just look at the box. Oh, he had 1,000 yards, in 2024. So I'm happy for him. And like I say, man, he seemed like a real down to earth dude.
Definitely is. And of course, did get to talk to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to stay here or not, if they're going to pay him or not. I did talk to a guy, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. I do have high hopes for him, and I'll play the video in a second, but I do want to mention. Corey, let's see. Let me go to your comments, man. Corey, he definitely is feeling like a lot of Titans fans said, man, fellas, this is bad.
Hey, Corey, you are right.
Ben talked me off the ledge.
Corey, this what I'm gonna tell you, sir. This what I'm gonna tell you. This how I'm gonna keep you. Because this what I have to do every week. It's never as bad as it seems. They're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. You got it. We two-tone blue for life, and we've been through way rougher time. Now it's rough, and we only got the number one pick because of what happened in another game. It's not based off, but it'll get better, man. I always say this: what you gonna do? You gonna root for Houston? You gonna root for Jacksonville? Or you gonna root for the most boring uniform colors in football with the Colts? No one's gonna root for them. So it's boring. I'm like, listen. Me and Mike are doing our best Calvin Ridley impression. This is optimism you hearing right here. What else do we have to go off of? Because once again, they got rid of Vrabel, brought in Coach Callahan, got Ran. Now they got rid of Ran. Now we got to deal with Mr. Brink. We don't know what's going on in the front office, but we do know this. We got the number one pick, which means right now we on the clock. You control your own destiny in the draft. But if that 15 minutes come off the clock and they say we have a trade, I'm a lose. I'm telling you, Mike, I'm going to lose it. Cause no matter what, get the guy that you want, man. And he's right there. Well, pick. And now if you get Travis Hunter, you know something we definitely don't know.
What if they get Abdul? What if they get the dude from Penn State, the pass rusher? What if he messes around and goes number one?
I mean, look, he better become JJ Watt. Better become TJ Watt, let alone JJ. Look, listen, I'm not an evaluator. I'm not a scout. This is, once again, people, this is when you need it ran the most. You got the number one pick. Because oh my God, don't get me started. Corey, we're going to keep it positive. It's going to be all right. We're going to make the right decision in the draft. We're going to make the right decision in free agency. I think this AFC South is up for grabs. Don't worry. Houston going to be one and done. The Chargers going to get them out of there this weekend. So you won't have to worry about nobody from the AFC South moving on, if that gives you any comfort.
Here he goes, man. He actually commented back. Hold on one second. Here you go. Check that out. Check that out, man.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying. Listen. Ran was my guy too, Corey. He's a former teammate of mine. I spent 4 years, played 4 years together at the University of Florida. Look, Corey, I'm gonna tell you what my grandma told me. Common sense is the one plant that ain't in everybody's garden, man. People drive by common sense every day, never stop. They want their head to Starbucks or something. So I don't know, but it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. Quarterback is on the way, and I think we need both. Draft and free agency. I think you need both. I really think you do. Just as Pittsburgh, even though they got both of theirs in free agency, you need two of them, two valuable starters. We ain't doing no carousel. And
yeah.
Well, listen. The hopes and dreams of the Titans gonna rest into the mindset of Mr. Brinker. I mean, he's to be the one. Football operations. We gonna. I don't even know what football operations do. I know they have. I know they don't do this. I know they don't do what he's doing right now. So we'll see.
I hear you there. I just wanted to kind of highlight one more guy, Mr. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Now, this young man came in for the University of Louisville, and he played hard. And of course, he got some not personal fouls, but some holding penalties or some pass interference penalties. But he's a young guy that's eager to learn, eager to grow, and I just enjoy talking to him and hearing him talk. Take a listen to this one, Ben.
What can you say about your growth from the beginning of the season to now, currently?
I think at the beginning of the season, I was just playing off, effort, talent, just playing with an edge. Still a lot of things I didn't know about the National Football League. And I think this year, it taught me a lot. And it was a lot of things that I saw firsthand. And it was, lesson learned. And I feel like the beginning of the season to now, I grew a ton just learning ball, learning the National Football League, just studying more film and just, talking to the vets, getting more knowledge and things like that. So, man, just doing that, I feel like next year it's going to be great.
And what can you say that this offseason is probably going to be one of your main focuses to kind of, I guess, take that next step as a cornerback in the NFL?
Obviously, being consistent. I think when it comes to my game, I think that's the most important thing. Sometimes I could find myself getting out my game, because the ball not been thrown to me or something like that, and I end up getting lazy and stuff like that. So I'll put it as, consistency. Just working on consistency with my technique in my daily life, and just on and off the field. And I feel like if I do that, if I put that much time into that, I feel like, it's a no-brainer that the season going to go the way that I want it to go.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Now, that young man, I look forward to seeing him grow. Now, we came into this season talking about Jerry Sneed and Chidobe Awuzie, but that young man, that is a guy to keep an eye on right there to me.
I want to say he was – I want to say this right. I want to say he was a part of he was there at Florida State.
Yeah.
When Coach Willie Taggart was there. And a lot of things was going differently, and then he ended up going to Louisville. This young man from Carroll City, right? Like Chad Jones, Carroll City. I appreciate his honesty. When he said, look, man, when I first came, I thought I could get here off athleticism. That ain't going to work because everybody out there athletic. Every last dude out here athletic. Then he said, man, I grew so much, and I was talking to the vets because the hardest thing you have to kill when you become a pro, Mike, is your pride, man, your ego. You got to let that stuff go, man. The best players in the world play on Sundays. And when you learn the game through adversity, trial by fire, once you get it, okay. Because when coaches tell you, listen, brother, man, we want you to do what you do, right? But you got to play aggressive, but you also got to play the scheme. Like we got to get out the field on third down. You can't be so aggressive because listen, the fact that DBs don't even get more, the fact that they ain't like they got 20 PIs, a year. It don't be a lot. But once again, it be in them moments again. It's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. We got a sack, holding, and I get it, man. It's a passing league now, but the growth that he's shown throughout the course of the year is because he's really looking at film now. He's really taking the feedback. Take the feedback, don't take it personal. And hey, He's a Miami kid, as far as like born and bred, and then he go to Florida State. That's a long way from home. That man went from Miami, Tallahassee, to Louisville, to Nashville. He ready. He'll once again, and he gonna get to go up against guys like Calvin Ridley, Boyd and those guys. Like he gonna get to go up against some good receivers every day in training camp and OTAs and mini camp. So once again, Mike, the one thing you don't get is, the one thing I hope you do understand is, these players don't want to talk to everybody now. They be avoiding certain people like the plague. When y'all come, they give them side eyes. I think the report, because they realize too, man, this is a part of my job. So let me talk with somebody who I'm at least comfortable with, familiar with, and ain't no such thing as hard questions, man. You got to ask them. Tell me about the season, because hey, I be going through looking at some of your interviews. You do a good job of pulling it out of them, because most questions, most answers you're gonna hear, yeah, man, we got to play better. But when you can get somebody to say, man, in a sense, I was tripping the first part of the season. It wasn't clicking. Now it was starting to click a little bit, and now I understand that when I make mistakes, it hurt the whole team, not just the defense. It's hurting the whole team, and I want my teammates to depend on. Not just the defense, not just the D coordinator, but Coach Callahan, the offense, special team. So happy for that young man, man. He traveled a different road to go from Florida State to Louisville and to still find himself on the Titans, man. With a 5th round pick, I think he got a bright future.
Yeah, I thought when I watched his tape, I was like, yeah, he's an aggressive player. He's probably going to have to temper a little bit of it down just to kind of get the technique in there, but he's got something. I just didn't think he was going to play and factor in immediately as much as he did. But it's good to see, him, taking accountability.
You do an interview in a tank top, you ain't scared of much. I don't care. What's up? I'm not going to throw on those. Like, what's up? Be like, you want to throw on the show? No, I'm good. What's up? Let's talk. Let's do it. Let's get there.
Got you. Well, that is the end of the show. We talked about, of course, the firing of Ran Carthon. We talked about the number 1 pick. We talked about the last game of the season. Definitely has been fun talking to you, Ben. Of course, we got to talk more this year, man.
Of course. I was about to say, listen, we're not going to go, can't go more than 2 months, if that, without talking to you, Mike. You do a hell of a job, man. I'm proud of you because, got to meet you in the Black Sports Biz Symposium. I see where you were to what you're doing, and I told you, I said, it's going to keep going. When you start getting the media credentials, or you doing them, you in the locker room, yeah. Because then, when you hear the stuff outside the locker room, they're like, what are these people talking about? Like, that don't be going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you are, listen, and we say this, anybody in the locker room becomes a part of it, whether you own a team or you cover the team. You are a part of. So the culture is built by everybody in that locker room. Media, coaches, the players. Because the one people who never in the locker room is the coaches. They never. So my word out to people like yourself, Mike. We the same age. I wish I would have had you doing media when I would have been like, Mike, come on in for a second, man. I gotta say something. I gotta get off my chest. Because I love meeting people around Nashville for something, but to be able to resonate with the person you're talking to, shoot. Oh yeah. I said, me and Mike, oh yeah, man, we congregate the same places. Because I think what most players want, man, they just want to be seen as people first, players second. And sometimes that's hard for people that only see you in glimpses. So, hey, man, Nashville, I ain't been to Nashville a long time, man. This guy, I heard this guy a little bougie off of Broadway and West End these days, man. Y'all out there, y'all drinking tea with y'all pinky in the air these days. Who knows? So they can host the Super Bowl. Whatever Nashville get that dome, and they hold the Super Bowl. I don't know how I'm going to get in. I'm getting in. I'm going to be there for that. I was there for 2019 for the draft. As a young man that got to grow up in the city of Nashville as a professional, man, that city is the greatest, man. Like, it is the coldest hell. I miss it. I do miss it.
I hear you, man. But hey, can you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and whatever all things you're working on? Because I know you're working on a lot of things, man.
I am. I mean, you can follow me on, on all, Blue Sky, X, Ben Troupe 84. I got my 84 Reasons podcast. I got my Winning the Division podcast, and I also have my No Weddings in the Fall podcast. The Ben Troupe podcast, it'll probably be here real soon, man. We working on that. Got a couple of books coming out here real soon. Dear Student Athlete is gonna be one. We'll be talking to these youngins, and I'm gonna have 84 reasons the book. It's gonna be more like one of those they call.
I actually got somebody I need to introduce you to, man. I'm gonna tell you off air. I'm gonna introduce you to him.
Right.
He actually played at my alma mater. He was a freshman when I was a senior. So I'm gonna introduce you to him.
But I mean, other than that, I'm just listen, man. I make myself available for people like yourself, Mike. You know this media world we in is small. There ain't a lot of us, and you one of the good ones, man. So anytime you need me, man, it's all good. And hey, man, if we see Ran, if we just happen to be in Nashville to see Ran together, man. So man, come on, man, we're gonna buy you a drink or something, man. It's rough. No, you're gonna buy us something because you got way more.
Hey, well, my boy Corey, man. Yeah, he said salute to you, man.
Hey, Corey, man, we gonna be all right, man. Listen, we gonna be all right. Just keep watching, keep cheering, and keep trolling them Texans fans. They the easiest fan base to troll in sports, promise you.
That's one of my best friends in the world right there, Corey, man. So yeah. And he said he be telling me what you be telling me all the time, man. Telling me all the time. See?
Hey man, hey, I'm trying to tell you, man. Hey, Mike, you one of the ones, man. Listen, when I saw you, not to get on your, when I said Jamel Hill, I was like, oh, I can get anybody. I say, man, if I said, look, I said, I'm just waiting to see my next guest. Hey, man, former President Barack Obama. What's up, Barack? Why not?
If I get him on the show, man, I might pass out before the show, wake up during the show.
There's gonna be Secret Service behind you. Like this is just my software. I promise you, I ain't doing nothing. I ain't making no sudden moves. Hey, man, why not? Why not reach for the moon?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I'm the host of the show, Mike Patton. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton 82. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Mike Patton 82. Now, I will say one thing. You did say X, man. I will say this. The only X I recognize is DMX and Malcolm X. That's it. I'm not going to call that
exactly.
X, man,
you know what? From now on, I'm gonna say that the artist formerly known as. From now on, I'm like DMX and Malcolm X.
Yeah, man. I got to show props to the artist formerly known as Prince, man. So gotta show that love for him. And then, of course, you can find me on Instagram and Threads at that's THA, not THE _general_MP. Touring the AFC South, you can find on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And we're also on the Mike Patton Podcast Network on YouTube as well. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode 313 of Touring the AFC South. We're out. Peace.